The theme's quite important. I mean, most of the time we've always tried to make sure that our jarjums grow up. I don't have any kids yet, but like I've got nieces and nephews, and we always want our jarjums to grow up smarter, stronger, healthier than the generation before. So like the legacy that gets passed on is being Mununjali, hard black soil people. It's really good because a lot of the kids can speak more language than their parents these days. Growing up, we didn't have too much language outside of doing dance, but now between me and a few of the other people in town who go around and teach the language in the schools, also some of the team from Mununjali Housing that have the, what would you say, like the posters on the walls, the kids do the acknowledgement. I think it's great to see the legacy passing on. It changes every generation and it just gets stronger because the older we get and the more kids that learn, it's just a lot easier to pass it on when we've got a lot of us teaching all at the same time. So I really like this year's theme with the legacy part of it. And when it comes to the strength, when we were growing up, a lot of people were a little bit shame, I'd say. So watching these kids, they don't have shame, and that's great. They just go out and do it. I think it also helps break down the barriers from the past, where sometimes people might have been a bit nervous about our culture or doing it in front of groups, I guess. But these kids, they stand up and do it loud and proud, and I think that's great. My biggest hopes would be that this native title process goes through. I think having a lot of the younger kids out on country a lot more will help strengthen them in ways that even surpasses any of us from before them. I also hope with the teaching of the language in the schools that, let's say, what are we in 2025? Let's say by 2040, all the kids will be able to have complete conversations with one another in Mununjali language, and just continue that one mobness, because as long as we be one mob, nothing will be able to stop us. So they're my three biggest hopes for the next generation, I'd say. The importance of sharing knowledge. I used to watch a lot of documentaries when I was growing up as a child, and still to this day. And I once seen somebody say, another Aboriginal man say that sometimes people look lost without knowing their culture because it helps them know who they are. The importance of it is a lot of the time when you hit high school, I think that's when everybody gets lost, whether they're male, female, doesn't matter what nationality they are. But once they understand who they are and where they come from, it helps guide their future. So it's good guidelines, and everything that we do as Mununjali people is about respect. So knowing their language, their history, where their grandparents come from, the struggles they've been through, and also handing over language, dances, and other knowledges, whether it be medicine, how to make a boomerang, how to make a spear, how to make a canoe. I think it gives you strength when you know more about your culture. It helps you connect to the past, and then it also helps guide for your future. It's just to share it for the next generations, especially if I teach my nieces and nephews or little cousins in the schools. By the time I have jarjums, it won't just be me teaching them or a few select people. It'll be the whole town that can teach them, because once you light a little fire underneath any of these kids, once they want to know the knowledge, they end up making it a large flame. And then by the time I do have kids, I could be 50. But by then, everybody will be teaching it, hopefully. So yeah, my role is to just try to share as much as I learn. A lot of things can happen spontaneously to people. And I always said whenever I learn something, that day I'd always go back and teach my three little brothers. So even if I was in a car crash or anything spontaneous just took me gone, anything I do know has been handed on. And then their role is to hand it to at least 3 or 4 people that day as well. And even if 20 of us forget, well, there's still going to be more people who knew that piece of knowledge as well. My number one thing I love to see is everybody going to Uncle Nelson's house, and he's just moved back, so that's great. Growing up here was pretty fun. We'd always be at Logan River, out near the bridge. Some of us used to go from the park to Spring Creek, sneak through the fence. But it's good to see that sometimes I'll just pop out there and there'll be just random families still out there. And it's good to see that, like we live in a technology generation these days, I guess. But sometimes you just see random kids out there fishing. And I just like seeing that. It's like, I know as we've progressed, everybody's been a bit more indoorsy. So just catching family out in different areas, it's great, especially with a lot of us going back out to Mununjali these days, and what we're going to have there for the future as well. So I like seeing that. And it's also all the families still sticking together. So like Christmas time, if I go to my mum's side one day in the morning, then the Fogarty's at the end. But then there's still heaps of other people's houses that I can go and steal half their food. I'd say don't be shame, be game. Uh, go into an uncomfortable place. If you're in a comfortable zone, it means that you're not progressing. So, for example, if you're good at rugby league, you now have to leave Beaudesert to go somewhere else to progress in your rugby league career. If you're an actor or a dancer, you can't just stick in town. You have to leave it to also progress. But once you're in an uncomfortable zone, that means that you're progressing and you're going forward. It's a little bit, it can take you back sometimes when you have to leave Beaudesert. But the thing is, you're doing everybody proud. And when you come back, you can always teach it again to the next generation, which is the same as this year's theme as well. So you don't be shame, be game, be loud and proud, and never take nobody's criticism, because the only person who can actually stop you is you, nobody else.